is Joey Styles with a special report for NWA Eastern Championship Wrestling. I am here with the Rockin' Rebel, the man who ended the wrestling career of Sal Bellomo.
I think you were the guy last week that got upset on TV that Sal Bellomo was hurt, and I think all the people out there were upset that he got hurt. And you know something?
If you people want to do something about it, then come down and do it right here.
Just what happened to Wild Man Sal. He's down, he's out, he's retired. Put it on his tombstone. Wild Man Sal took it right here.
I'm the guy who busted Sal Bellomo's face.
You know, he is.
I'm the guy who ended his career. And you know what really burned me up?
Sabu, get well, Sal.
Kids out here with these get well signs for Sal Bellomo.
Absolutely. I miss Sal Bellomo, the man who was injured, perhaps put out of wrestling, but...
I hate your kid. Because he's my kid.
What do you mean you hate my kid?
I think I hate that he hates his kid.
I think
He's a Sal Bellomo fan, that's why.
Hey, if Chris Michaels...
You don't talk like my kid like that.
Michaels
I
looks
put
pretty
Sal
intense
Bellomo out of
himself.
wrestling, and you know what? You'll never recognize him again. Because these kids, I hate them. Get well, Sal. I'm going to kill
Man, the
some
Rebel,
kids.
I don't know.
He's lost it.
I don't know about the kids, but I know one thing. I come here to
Instead, correct me,
Wait
baby.
a minute.
I hate
What's
your
this?
kid. And if I wanted to, I'd beat your head in two.
Wow.
Well, what about let's do it now?
Yes,
Whoa,
we're going to see
here
it right
we
now.
go.
Here we go. Let's do it.
Behind.
The Rebel. Flooring Chris Michaels. Michaels turning his back. This man has no friends. Oh, clothesline almost takes the head off of Chris Michaels.
Salvatore, remember we shot the home video with the children. Sal, we know your fans love you, but we love you too, and we need you.
Next week, we will announce the entire lineup for the November to Remember. The Dream Partner Tag Team match, Terry Funk and a mystery partner. A lot of speculation on that mystery partner. Most names mentioned do not wrestle here in ECW, but they will take on Sabu and Road Warrior Hawk. All other matches for the November to Remember will be announced here on next week's program. Advance tickets are strongly urged before next week's big rush. Order now by calling the ECW hotline, 215-544-0421. That's 215-544-0421. You'll never forget the November to Remember.
In all the chaos and confusion, in all the hustle and bustle, with all the stress and the pressure, with all the high prices, all the bills, all the expenses, all the taxes, with all you have to put up with, isn't it good to know there's one place you're always welcome, one place you can always get a little help when you really need it? Carver W. Reed, corner of 10th and Sansom Streets since 1860.
Attention wrestling fans, have you ever watched wrestling on TV and thought, hey, I would love to be a wrestler? Well, your dream is about to come true. The ECW Wrestling Academy is now accepting students ready to be trained to become a professional wrestler, manager, or referee. It's only $3,000 per student with $1,500 down and $500 a month. You'll be trained by the superstars of the ECW. Only the serious need apply. For information, call 215-544-0421. The ECW Wrestling Academy. It's not for everyone.
God, no, somebody stop this man. This is how he ended the career of Sal Bellomo. This is how he almost ended. No. Wait a minute. He stopped. What's he looking at? Someone, get a camera. What's he seeing? It's Sal Bellomo! Oh my God! Sal Bellomo is back! Sal Bellomo is back! Sal Bellomo came through the front door of the ECW arena. I can't believe it's Sal Bellomo. Get him, Sal! Get him! I can't believe this! This is unbelievable! Gentlemen, I can't believe it. Sal Bellomo is back in the ECW arena. I thought he was gone from wrestling, from NWA Eastern Championship Wrestling forever. In my short wrestling broadcasting career, this has got to be my most emotional moment. Sal Bellomo is back in the ECW.
NWA Eastern Championship Wrestling wishes all of you a very happy Halloween, but reminds you that the horror's not over until the terror at Tabor, the Tabor Youth Association, Whitaker Loudon Streets, Northeast Philadelphia, Friday, November 12th, the terror at Tabor, 215-544-0421.
If you'd like the stars of the ECW to come to your hometown, to your community, to your school, call the ECW hotline at 215-544-0421. Stars like the ECW heavyweight champion Shane Douglas, Paul E. Dangerously, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, the Magnificent Morocco, Terry Funk, Abdullah the Butcher, and many, many more. The ECW can come to your school, to your hometown, to your community. 215-544-0421.
Earlier, we saw the return of Salvatore Bellomo. I can understand, being a family man and a father, what it must be like to see your children crying and in tears. But I can only begin to understand, only begin to relate to the pain that must be in Sal Bellomo's heart as he has to deal with his children every day and explain to them that he's not the man he used to be. Sal Bellomo has not recovered sufficiently from his injuries, and as you know, the State Athletic Commission has very specific requirements medically before a wrestler can get into the ring, and he is not able to get into the ring according to their requirements. However, this is the ECW, and it's not for everyone. And just like the fans of Philadelphia, we don't like to answer to other people. We don't like to answer to the Pennsylvania State Athletic Department. We don't like to answer to the doctors. And we don't even like to answer to the NWA. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, on November the 13th, at the November to Remember, there will not be a wrestling match. There will not be a sanctioned wrestling match between Salvatore Bellomo and the Rockin' Rebel. Instead, these two individuals will come to the ring, each wielding a metal chair. That's correct, a metal chair. In a match that will not be sanctioned by the NWA, certainly will not be sanctioned by the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the ECW, and that's the way we settle differences between grown men. We're not here to make the NWA happy. We're not here to make the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission happy. We are here to give you the biggest bang for your buck, because we're the ECW and we're not for everyone.
Saturday night, November 13th at the ECW Arena. It's the November to Remember. Already announced the Dream Partner Tag Team match. Sabu and Road Warrior Hawk versus Terry Funk and a mystery partner. It's shoot fight rules as Kevin Sullivan faces Tommy Cairo. A return match. Tommy Dreamer versus the Tasmaniac. Mr. Hughes versus Johnny Gunn, and stay tuned for more information on Salvatore Bellomo, The Rebel, Sensational Sherry, and more. You'll never forget the November to Remember.
Hey, Rocky, this is Chris Michaels, and you are watching NWA Eastern Championship Wrestling.
And this is no cartoon.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to NWA Eastern Championship Wrestling. This is Joey Styles in the Eagle's Nest, high above the ECW Arena, where the action is already underway. All this action leads up to Friday night, November 12th, Terror at Tabor, as well as the next night, Saturday, November 13th. It's the November to Remember at the ECW Arena. Don't forget, the main event on the 13th is the Dream Partner Tag Team match. It will be Hawk and Sabu, two men who don't get along but have signed this contract, taking along Terry Funk and a mystery partner who has yet to be announced. What a card it's going to be. And remember, recently Tommy Cairo was on a shoot fighting pay-per-view, a new sport from Japan. Well, on November 13th, Tommy Cairo will be bringing those shoot fighting skills to the ECW Arena at the November to Remember, and his opponent will be Kevin Sullivan.
A November to Remember, November the 13th, ECW and Todd Gordon have put me on the hot seat. a shoot fight match against Iron Man Tommy Cairo? Todd, I thought they were all shoot fight matches, especially in Philadelphia. You see, Iron Man Tommy Cairo, I saw you from the pay-per-view in Japan. Well, this isn't Japan, my friend. This is Philadelphia, where anything goes. Where I rule king. Where I walked out of the ring over bloodied Abdullah the Butcher's body. A 450-pound wild man from Sudan that I carved up like a big black whale. Was that politically correct?
Personally, can't believe just how Kevin Sullivan is manhandling this 400-some-pound beast from the Sudan. Kevin Sullivan is showing that he is more maniacal than Abdullah the Butcher. I have never seen the Butcher manhandled like this.
Todd, I thought they were all shoot fight matches, especially in Philadelphia.
And pull out of steam. Oh, once again, Gino Caruso is finished. This match was really over before it would begun. Sullivan scooping Caruso, slamming him down off the ropes. Oh, wow. That's it. That's got to be all 2 and 3. The evil Kevin Sullivan making it look easy against Gino Caruso.
As my good friend Yasser Arafat said, this is a new world order. And Iron Man, I'm going to make you the first one on my list.
So November, to remember, we know the main event, the Dream Partner Tag Team match. Sabu chose Road Warrior Hawk. Terry Funk can choose any partner he wishes, whether he likes him or not. The ECW Tag Team titles will be on the line. Hot Body and Stetson are ready to defend, and Tommy Cairo will be in a shoot fight match against Kevin Sullivan. This just added to that great card, a big rematch between upstart Tommy Dreamer and the Tasmaniac, Philadelphia's own Johnny Gunn will be making his NWA Eastern Championship Wrestling debut as he squares off one-on-one with somebody right out of a Lord Byron novel. Mad, bad, and dangerous to know, 6'8" and 350 pounds of Mr. Hughes. Mr. Hughes is standing by with these comments.
That's right, Mr. Hughes here. You see, the Tabor is on the 12th of November. Now then, Saturday, November to remember. You see, Mr. Hughes has come a long way. Back when I was in the WCW, I hooked up with Lex Luger, and we went up to the Meadowlands. And I hooked up with Lawrence Taylor. Now, I went up to WWF, and I confronted The Undertaker. Now, I beat him up, put Paul Bearer out, tuck the urn, threw it back because the competition wasn't worth a damn. Now, I'm in the NWA. Listen to me. Johnny Gunn, you got something to confront to me, boy? Come and bring it on. I am the man from the hood. You see, nobody ever steps on my foot. Nobody ever spits in my face. You got something to say to me, boy? Bring it on. I am the man from the hood, the meanest, the baddest individual you ever gonna lay your hands on. And I promise you this, Johnny Gunn, you will not get up out of that ring when Mr. Hughes gives you the sidewalk slam. You're going down.
He's the biggest. He's the baddest. He's the meanest of them all. He's a warrior of ultimate proportions. Anyway, our boy Road Warrior Hawk has to team with this animal, Sabu.
These are all the people that will be here on November 13th.
That is correct.
This guy doesn't even wrestle in the ECW, but he'll be here November 13th.
He'll be here November 13th.
And I can pick anybody but him, no disrespect, mind you, to team with Sabu against Terry Funk and a partner of his choice for anybody that'll be here on November 13th.
That is correct.
Anybody I want.
Anybody you want.
I pick as Sabu's partner, Road Warrior Hawk.
No. Road Warrior Hawk's not going to team with Sabu. No. You can't have Road Warrior Hawk's never going to team.
You told me, and he agreed, that anybody that we pick can team with Sabu. And
I know who is on the list because I've looked at it. And I'm not going to pick Abdullah the Butcher. And I'm not going to pick Kevin Sullivan. I'm not going to pick Tito Santana. I'm not going to pick Ted DiBiase. I'm going to pick somebody that is a whole lot closer than that to me. Somebody that I can trust.
How about the guts that Sabu showed, allowing me to pick any man that was committed to ECW for the November 13th, November to remember. Think about it. I could have picked anybody on that list. Did I pick an ally? No. Did I pick a friend? No. Did I pick somebody who we get along with? No. I picked Road Warrior Hawk, and I hear now that Hawk is not that crazy about teaming with Sabu. I hear Hawk has been on the phone with the ECW. He's been on the phone with the NWA saying, hey, I don't like no stinking Sabu. I never liked no stinking Paulie Dangerously. And if they get in my way, we snack on danger and dine on death. Ah, what a rush. The only rush that's going to go down on Saturday night, November 13th at the ECW Arena at the November to Remember is the rush that I'm going to get inside my system watching Terry Funk go down for the last time. Because you don't have the guts to tell me and Sabu and even Road Warrior Hawk who your mystery tag team partner is. We said it's a dream partner. Dream one up, Terry. Who you going to pick? We had the guts to come out and name our partner. You don't have the guts. You are not from Amarillo, Texas. You must be from Philadelphia, because you're a stinking, no good, gutless, lying coward. Now, on November 13th, at the November to Remember, I don't care who your partner is, Terry Funk. You stinking old man living off 1975 saying, was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Well, that is the last title you will ever hold besides the ECW television title, because we're going to take that off you on the 13th as well, Terry Funk, because you can live on all your past glories, you grandfather. You don't have to worry about having fiber in your diet anymore, because Sabu and Hawk are going to knock the you-know-what out of you, and if I get my chance, I'll smack you with my phone, and the same goes for your mystery partner, that you can come out here all you want, Terry Funk, and say, I'm going to amass all the victories I can, because I'm so old, I'm near death, and he who dies with the most toys wins. When it comes to the Dangerous Alliance, Paulie Dangerously, Sabu, and even Road Warrior Hawk, it's not he who dies with the most toy wins, it's he who dies with the most toys still dies.
I just wanted to let you know that if tonight's show offended anybody, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
Bad company! It's more like Pop Goes Bad Company, because when I saw you, Pat Tanaka, Rocco here had a chair wrapped around your head, and Paul Diamond, you wasn't looking too much better, was you, punk? Because I had you on the ground with the dirt and the scum, just like you two are. Pat yourself on the back, punk. You scored a victory over Public Enemy, but what comes around goes around. You wash my back, I'll pop you in the back with a chair. Ain't that how it goes? Tell him, Rocco.
There's no fear in these eyes. There's no tolerance in this soul. You may have won the battle, but you'll never win the war. I'll do whatever I have to do. If I have to slash your throat with a razor next time you step in that ring, you will never diss the Public Enemy again. I'll tell you another thing. Don't ever even think about getting into the war. Don't get in the ring with us. If you get in the ring with us, we will end your career. We may end your being.
Wow, things here in ECW are getting wild. Now, as was the case with Sal Bellomo and the Rebel, the ECW is right on top of this situation between the Public Enemy and Bad Company. On November 13th, to remember, there will be a match between Flyboy Rocco Rock and Johnny Grunge versus Paul Diamond and Pat Tanaka, and you, the fans, will have a very special say in the stipulations regarding this match.
NWA Eastern Championship Wrestling hopes you had a very happy Halloween. But we remind you that the Terror at Tabor is on Friday night, November the 12th. See all the superstars of NWA Eastern Championship Wrestling. See Sabu battle the Tasmaniac. See Kevin Sullivan with Woman. See Road Warrior Hawk. See Sensational Sherry Martel. See all the superstars of NWA Eastern Championship Wrestling at the Terror at Tabor. Tabor Youth Association, Whitaker and Loudon Streets, Northeast Philadelphia, Friday, November 12th. Call 215-544-0421. And don't forget the November to remember.
This is Jimmy Snuka, the Superfly, ECW. Woo, woo, woo. What are you gonna do about it?
We'd like to get comments from an individual who is so ferocious, so vicious, that at one time Lex Luger hired this man as his bodyguard rather than facing him one-on-one in the wrestling ring. This man later went on to take the urn away from The Undertaker, put his manager Paul Bearer out of wrestling, and then threw the urn back into the face of The Undertaker. I am talking of none other than Mr. Hughes.
That's right, the 12th, Tabor, baby. Now then, on the 13th of November, Johnny Gunn, you're dealing with the big man from the hood. You see, I am in the house. I will beat the dog out of you, if you know what I mean. Now, Mr. Hughes has came a long way. Philly, look out. Mr. Man is coming to your town. I am the man, the meanest, the baddest man you're ever going to step in front of. Johnny Gunn, you're going down.
Oh, Matty in the house. Now, here's the deal. On November 13th at the ECW Arena, we have something called a Viewer's Choice Match. What that means is that you, the viewer, get to choose the type of match you would like to see. We have the top two tag teams, the slamminest tag teams, going against each other. Now, you get to choose between a tag team cage match, a double chain match, a double bull rope match, a Texas death match, a South Philly hood match, where falls count anywhere in the building, and the first wrestler that bleeds has to go back to the dressing room, thereby creating a 2-on-1 situation. A loser of the fall gets his head shaved match. And a match where the team that loses must split up forever. If you want to see some blood, you'll get some blood. If you want to see a maiming, you'll get a maiming. If you want to see a death, vote for it. It's a viewer's choice.
Tommy Cairo, who is recently on a Shoot Wrestling pay-per-view from Japan, will be in a shoot fight with Kevin Sullivan. The rules are simple. 1 fall to a positive finish. No pinfalls. 10 count KO or submission rules. No time limit. Clenched fists are illegal. Wrestler must break hold if his opponent reaches the ropes. Earlier, we've got some pre-recorded comments from Kevin Sullivan standing by in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Todd, I thought when you put me against Abdullah the Butcher in a cage and he tried to break my back with the metal suitcase and raked my head against the cage until the crimson ran into my boots, I thought that was a shoot fight. The time before that when Terry Funk pushed me off the scaffold and I almost broke my ankle and he zipped my head. I thought that was a shoot fight. Tommy Caro, now I know the rules of the road. It's a shoot fight in Philadelphia. It's a shoot fight. I'm glad you smarted me up to this thing, Todd. I'll be ready for it.
Terror at the Tabor Youth Association, Friday, November 12th, 215-544-0421.
Attention wrestling fans, Legends of Wrestling presents the Ben Salem Bash and Wrestling Spectacular Saturday, October 30th at the Armstrong Middle School, starting at 12 noon. Meet and greet the wrestlers one-on-one. There's Ted DiBiase and Jim Cornette. Also appearing are Papa Shango and Kamala. Get your picture taken with Sensational Sherry or Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Don't miss all 7 spectacular matches. Bell time is 8 p.m. So call now for advance tickets for Saturday, October 30th. Call 750-3290 for information and be part of this sensational wrestling event. Show benefits Ben Salem Shield Cup Fund.
This may be one of the most controversial segments in the history of ECW television. Sherry versus Medusa. Now, how many times have you watched Sensational Sherry wrestle and thought to yourself, I wonder what would happen if she went one-on-one with Medusa? How many times have you seen Medusa wrestle and thought to yourself, I'd like to see her go one-on-one with Sensational Sherry Martel? Well, it's going to happen Saturday night, November 13th, the November to remember at the ECW Arena. Now, as we've already told you, there was a major incident involving these two athletes, two of the greatest female athletes in the history of professional wrestling, at John Rezzi's Weekend of Champions convention in New York City. The two got together to discuss their upcoming matchup. What broke loose was a verbal altercation, very unladylike to say the least. I don't even know if we can air this entire segment on ECW television. If our slogan ever fit, this videotape is not for everyone.
I want to challenge you, just like you want to challenge me. November 13th, 93. People have been waiting years and years and years for this, and I have especially.
You want to know who's best, don't you?
It's not a point of who's best. It's not a point who's best. A lot of my art and a lot of my athleticism comes from my background. You know, there's a lot of things as far as women in wrestling. They think that a backslide is a casting couch position or something. It's a wrestling maneuver. And with you, Sherry, you've hated me. You call me names. You and I are the top of women's professional wrestling. Let's continue to open up some doors for these women.
Are you finished yet?
I'm not even finished. I haven't even begun. But I'm willing to show you the new ropes of women's professional wrestling.
You're going to show me the new
I am going to show you now.
Are you finished yet?
And I'm not even finished yet.
Make your point.
The point is here. On November 13th, I will prove to people what wrestling really is and should be. And if you can challenge that offer, I'll hand you the mic.
Okay, let's do a little bit of history here, shall we? Yes, we were in the AWA. And yes, you were a young, upcoming, little blonde bimbo. Just like you are now. You haven't changed now, no matter what you do. You're always going to be in the shadow. You were there. All you did was run around with everybody at the dressing room. You didn't sit down, you didn't listen to anybody. Then, because you couldn't handle the competition that was here in the States, you run off to Japan where all the women the men. Now, in my book, that's maybe doing something pretty good. Yeah, I'll admit that. That was good. That was very clever on your part. I got to commend you on that. I have to commend you on that. But you couldn't be #1 here in your own damn country. I haven't run from you. I'm sitting right here face to face with you right now. You want a piece of me? Anywhere, anytime, that's fine. And you know that Greg the Hammer Valentine you're so proud of? That's the one thing you did do right, honey, because I him. He ain't so bad. But we're not really talking about your personal life here. We're talking about you and I here. We're talking about you and I once and for all. Yeah, that might be fun, just to find out just where we both stand, what we've both been doing, and mostly what I thought probably forgotten and you'll never know. So you want it November 13th? You got it.
Listen, Sherry, if all you can do is run your mouth about sexual credentials, baby, all you've ever done is show the committee a yeah, kiss my candy. And then I will show you something. You're telling me that I couldn't prove anything in my own country? Listen, woman, you couldn't prove, you couldn't do anything over in Japan, so that's why you never came. That's why you never went to Japan, because you couldn't hold your own weight.
You know.
Yeah, I stayed there for 2.5 years. You've been there. You've been there. Yeah, my blood. I'll prove it to you right here, baby. But yeah, that's all you can do. There you go, sexual credentials.
Hey, this I don't need. November 13th.
November 13th.
Mine?
Yeah. That's right.
Hey, Greg,
that's right.
Get a damn stretcher for her.
That's right. I'll put you in a pretzel hole that you wish you've never been in, because I'm going to put a German suplex on you. And by the way, that happened in Japan, and I won the title over there. And what the hell did you carry in America besides man's in your hand? Hiding in your shit. How come you didn't keep in the AWA? When I was there, you left. Now, I might be going to the WWF, woman. What do? You hear that I'm going, and what do? You leave.
NWA ECW presents the November to Remember, Saturday night, November 13th at the ECW Arena. The Dream Partner Tag Team Match, Road Warrior Hawk and Sabu versus Terry Funk and a mystery partner. The ladies' match of the century, sensational Sherry Martel versus Medusa. Shoot Fight Rules, Kevin Sullivan versus Tommy Cairo. The viewer's choice match, you choose the stipulations. Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond versus the Public Enemy. ECW Tag Team Champions Stetson and Hotbody will defend their belts. Tommy Dreamer in a return match against the Tasmaniac. Mr. Hughes versus Johnny Gunn. And finally, the chair match, Sal Balomo's Chance versus the Rockin' Rebel. Call 215-544-0421. November 13th at the ECW Arena. You'll never forget the November to Remember.
Oh, hi there. Joey Styles back at the ECW News Center. The program you just saw was supposed to air last week, however, due to technical difficulties, it did not. So this week you're getting 2 hours back-to-back of NWA Eastern Championship Wrestling, but we will be back at our normal time slot next week from 6 to 7 p.m. here on Sports Channel.
Hey, Sully with a special bulletin before tonight's Eastern Championship Wrestling broadcast. Later in this hour, we are scheduled to hear from Terry Funk, who will be phoning in live from the Double Cross Ranch in Amarillo, Texas. We hope to gain more information on who will be teaming with Funk in this weekend's main event at the November to Remember, as Funk's original choice for a partner is recovering from injuries suffered while being subdued by police in a parachuting accident this past weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada.
This Friday night in Northeast Philadelphia, it's the Terror at Tabor, and then the very next night, this Saturday night, just 4 days away, it's the November to Remember. Another matchup we are all looking forward to seeing is between a young man, a 22-year-old, making his run for the Rookie of the Year, Tommy Dreamer, in his rematch against the Tasmaniac. Now, these two have met once before here. Tasmaniac came out on top, but Tommy Dreamer wants his chance to redeem himself at the November to Remember.
Empty pockets never stop me from singing on Blue Street. No! I don't think the devil's ever gonna give me back. I don't think so. Staying around here takes patience. That's like a full-time occupation. I've become a diplomat. Yes, it did, baby! Ain't me no gal, you know the crosstown bus just rolled. Yeah, I'm the same old
Tommy Cairo, I'm going to teach you a lesson in Philadelphia. As W.C. Fields once said, I'd rather be in Philadelphia, and that goes double for me. Plan behind this? I don't know, Todd. Shoot fight? I've always thought they've all been shoot fights. Philadelphia, November to Remember, I'm going to make sure everybody remembers this one.
This is Hunter Q. Robbins III with Johnny Hotbody and Tony Stetson, the ECW Tag Team Champions.
And you're watching the ECW.
In my professional, journalistic, totally objective opinion, Johnny Gunn's a dead man. He doesn't stand a chance because this Saturday night at the November to Remember, he's got to step into the ring with the greatest wrestler, no, the greatest athlete in the history of professional sports, Mr. Hughes. Was that all right?
It better be. Now then, the 12th of November, Tamer. The 13th of November is to remember. Now then, Johnny Gunn, you want to chase after me like an alley cat, telling everybody you're going to beat me up? Well, I got something for you. You have no idea who you're dealing with. You see, I am the man. I've been in the ring with the best. I beat up Lex Luger, Undertaker, Paul Bearer, took the urn, the prized possession of the Undertaker. And then you see, I threw it back because the competition was getting terrible. Now then, here I am in the ECW, chasing after you-know-who, Johnny Gunn. Now, you want a piece of me? Bring it on. You see, I am the man from the hood, the bricks, as they say in New York City. Now, Johnny Gunn, you got some family? Tell them to come on. Bring the insurance papers, baby, because you're going down with the sidewalk slam. I guarantee it. You're going down.
But you are about to take a special look at the new ECW Heavyweight Champion, Sabu, a man who made a debut with such impact never before seen in professional wrestling or professional sports for that matter. Just look at the devastation that is the new ECW Heavyweight Champion, Sabu. gentlemen, as we're on the air right now, I have the privilege. I'm about to speak to one of the most phenomenal athletes in the history of this sport. He's currently in Japan, ready to hop on a plane right back here. He's going to be ready Saturday night. So November to remember, I'm talking about Road Warrior Hawk of the Legion of Doom. Listen into this.
Joey Styles on the phone with Hawk, who is overseas right now in Japan, but we understand he will be here. He is ready for this Saturday night, the November to remember. And Hawk, I understand you don't care who you're teaming with Saturday. You're just ready for competition.
You know, I'm sitting here in Tokyo, right? I got some cat looking at me walking down the street of Spikes. We're 14 hours ahead of you. He says to me, what are you into? I said, plasma, hemoglobin, what about it? But what I ain't into is some stinking dude named Sabu or Paulie Dangerously ever thinking about picking me for a partner. Funk, I could care less what you do. All I know is this Saturday, I'll be there in the ring, ripping face. Now you're kind, now you heard it, now you know what you're in for. See ya, I gotta catch a bullet train.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now on the telephone, a man who has had a change of heart as of late since winning the ECW television title. I'm talking about none other than Terry Funk on the telephone right now with last-minute comments regarding the November to remember.
Okay, this is Joey Styles. I'm on the phone with Terry Funk. And Terry, I thank you for calling in. I understand you have some comments to make regarding this Saturday night, the November to remember.
Would you just shut up, Styles? Would you just shut up? Let me go ahead and voice my views for a change. Since it's me that has the mystery partner, and I am the only person that knows who that mystery partner is, but in the November to remember, I want you to know one thing. You will not be disappointed when you come out there. There will only be two people that are disappointed, and those two people are the Road Warrior Hawk and Sabu. You know, I wrestled with the Road Warrior Hawk before. What a disappointment. He was a tremendous disappointment. I was the only good thing that was happening in the ECW arena that night. I had to hold the man up. Here he was supposed to be a wonderful tag team partner for me. Well, let me tell you something. Road Warrior Hawk always went ahead and depended on Animal because he didn't have any ability on his own. I just didn't realize which one had the ability. Now I do realize who has the ability. And speaking of Sabu, he better go ahead and figure out exactly who he is and what kind of a wrestler he is, if he's a wrestler or a brawler. Because if he wants to brawl, I'll brawl with him all over the ECW arena. And if he wants to wrestle, believe me, my partner can wrestle with the best of them and has year after year after year. Who is he? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But you won't be disappointed in November to remember this Saturday night at the ECW Arena.
We're having some fun now. My, oh my. Phone the neighbors, wake the kids. We're having more fun now than humans should be allowed. Later on in this program, we'll have stupid yuppie tricks with Paulie Dangerously. But right now, it's time for the top 10 reasons why you should be at the November to remember. We'll steal anyone's idea to make this show work. Number 10, you'll find out who Terry Funk's mystery partner is. Number 9, if you go, you most likely get lucky. Number 8, if your children misbehave, Sabu will eat them for you. Number 7, 3 words, woman, woman, woman. Number 6, if we sell out, we won't have to air those stupid Carver W. Reed commercials anymore. Number 5, Sherry and Medusa, meow. Number 4, you get to pick the stipulations as Tanaka and Diamond face the public enemy. Number 3, you get a chance to throw things at Jason and ruin his new suit. Number 2, the ticket taker is a nymphomaniac? Hey, I didn't write this, I'm just reading them. And the number 1 reason why you should be at the November to remember, it won't suck.
This Friday night in Northeast Philadelphia, it's Terror at Tabor. Call the ECW hotline for ticket information, 215-544-0421. And don't forget, this Saturday night, it's the November to remember.